Welcome to the Nightmare Vault.
Black Hollow High School. The school had been there for more than 60 years and had educated generations of students. Most people in the town considered it an ordinary school. However, there was one thing everyone knew about, but rarely discussed. At the end of the oldest hallway was Classroom 13. The room had been locked for nearly 20 years. No classes were held there. No teachers used it. The windows had been covered from the inside, and nobody seemed willing to explain why. Every year, new students heard rumors about Classroom 13. Some claimed they heard whispering coming from behind the door after sunset. Others swore they had seen shadows moving through the covered windows. Most students laughed about the stories, but they also made sure never to walk past the room alone. 17-year-old Noah Walker had heard the stories for years. Unlike most students, he never believed them. To him, ghost stories were simply a way for bored teenagers to entertain themselves. During his senior year, however, he would learn that some legends exist for a reason. One October afternoon, a powerful thunderstorm rolled across the Texas countryside. Rain hammered the roof of the school while dark clouds blocked the sun. Most students rushed home as soon as the final bell rang. Noah remained behind to finish a history project in the library. By the time he finished, the building was almost completely empty. As he walked toward the exit, he noticed something strange. A light was shining beneath the door of Classroom 13. Noah stopped. That was impossible. The room was locked. Nobody was supposed to be inside. He stared at the door for several seconds before convincing himself that a custodian must have left a light on. As he turned to leave, he heard a sound. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. The noise came from inside the classroom. Noah froze. The hallway suddenly felt colder. Again, the knocking echoed from behind the door. Knock, knock, knock. Then came a voice, a soft voice, a young girl's voice. Please help me. Noah felt a chill run down his spine. He looked around the hallway. Nobody was there. The voice came again. Please help me. Every instinct told him to leave. Instead, curiosity pulled him closer. He approached the door and looked through the narrow window. The glass was too dirty to see clearly. At first, he saw nothing. Then he noticed what looked like a pale face staring back at him from inside the room. Noah jumped backward. The face vanished. His heart pounded. Slowly, he reached for the handle. To his surprise, the door opened. The classroom beyond looked abandoned. Dust covered the desks. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling. Broken textbooks lay scattered across the floor. The room appeared untouched for years. Noah stepped inside. The door slammed shut behind him. The sound echoed like a gunshot. He spun around and grabbed the handle. The door would not open. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Once, twice. Then everything went dark. For several seconds, Noah stood in complete darkness. When the lights returned, the room had changed. The dust was gone. The desks looked new. The walls appeared freshly painted. Students filled the classroom. A teacher stood at the front. Noah stared in disbelief. It was as if he had stepped backward in time. Nobody seemed to notice him. The students continued talking and laughing as though he wasn't there. Then Noah noticed the date written on the chalkboard. October 18th, 2006. 20 years earlier, a girl sat near the back of the room. Long brown hair. Blue jacket. She looked nervous. Noah immediately recognized her from an old newspaper article he had once seen. Her name was Emily Carter. She was the student who disappeared from Black Hollow High School 20 years ago. According to local legend, she vanished without a trace. No body was ever found. No explanation was ever discovered. Suddenly, the classroom clock reached 3:13 p.m. The room fell silent. Every student stopped moving, Every head slowly turned toward the back corner of the classroom. Noah followed their gaze. A figure stood there, tall, thin, motionless. Its body seemed darker than the surrounding shadows. Its face could not be seen. The figure took a step forward. Emily looked terrified. The other students remained frozen, unable to move, unable to speak. The figure raised one long arm and pointed directly at Emily. The lights exploded. Darkness swallowed the room. A scream echoed through the classroom. Then silence. When the lights returned, Emily was gone. The shadow figure was gone. The classroom was empty once again. Noah found himself standing alone, breathing heavily. Then he heard footsteps behind him. Slow footsteps. Heavy footsteps. He turned around. Nothing. The footsteps continued. Closer, closer, closer. Suddenly a whisper brushed against his ear. "Help me." It was Emily. Noah nearly stumbled backward. The whisper came again. "Help me. I'm still here." The voice seemed to come from beneath the floor. Noah looked down and noticed a loose section of wooden flooring near the teacher's desk. He knelt and pulled it aside. Beneath it was a hidden metal hatch. The hatch looked ancient. Rust covered its edges. Gathering his courage, Noah opened it. A narrow staircase descended into darkness beneath the school. The air rising from below smelled damp and rotten. Every warning in his mind told him not to continue, yet he couldn't ignore Emily's voice. Using the flashlight on his phone, he climbed down. The staircase led into a forgotten underground tunnel stretching beneath the school. The concrete walls were cracked and stained with age. Water dripped from the ceiling. The deeper Noah walked, the colder the air became. Soon he reached a large underground chamber. The sight made his blood run cold. Names covered every wall. Hundreds of names scratched into the concrete. Students, teachers, janitors, missing people from decades of town history. Among them was Emily Carter, and dozens of others Noah recognized from old local stories. In the center of the chamber stood a single school desk. An old notebook rested on top. Noah opened it. The final pages revealed a horrifying truth. Years ago, workers discovered the tunnels beneath the school. Strange disappearances began shortly afterward. Witnesses described seeing a dark figure roaming the underground passages. Every victim had one thing in common. They were last seen near classroom 13. According to the notebook, the classroom wasn't haunted. It was a doorway connected to something ancient that lived beneath the school, something that fed on fear, something that lured victims closer by calling their names. A deep growl echoed through the chamber. Noah slowly looked up. Standing at the far end of the room was the shadow figure. Its eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. Its arms stretched unnaturally long. Its body twisted like smoke. The creature began walking toward him. One step, then another. The chamber trembled. The lights on Noah's phone flickered violently. Fear overwhelmed him. Then he remembered something written in the notebook. It feeds on fear. The more afraid you become, the stronger it gets. The creature moved closer. Noah forced himself to stand still. His heart raced. His hands trembled. But he refused to run. The shadow slowed. Its form began to flicker. The creature let out an angry growl. Noah stepped forward instead of backward. The creature weakened further. Its body started breaking apart like smoke in the wind. Suddenly, Emily's voice echoed through the chamber. "Don't be afraid," the shadow creature screamed. Cracks spread across its body. Darkness burst outward from its chest. Then the entire figure collapsed into nothing. Silence filled the underground room. For the first time, the air felt warm. The oppressive feeling was gone. The names on the walls slowly faded. The whispers disappeared. Everything became still. Moments later, Noah found himself standing back inside classroom 13. The room was empty. The hatch beneath the floor was gone. The door stood open. The storm outside had ended. Sunlight streamed through the hallway windows. The next morning, school officials announced that Classroom 13 would finally be renovated and reopened. Workers removed the old walls and flooring. No tunnels were ever found. No underground chamber existed according to the official reports. Nobody could explain what Noah experienced. Months passed. Life returned to normal. Students once again used Classroom 13 without incident. The whispers stopped. The shadows vanished. The fear disappeared, or so everyone believed. 1 year later, a new student stayed late after school. As she walked past Classroom 13, she noticed a light glowing beneath the door. Then she heard 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. And from somewhere inside the room, a quiet voice whispered, "Please help me."